Hi everyone, welcome back to Vlogmas Day 2. So today is going to be like a sit down video. I don't even know how long this is going to be, but I wanted to just do catch up a little bit because we put out some videos and then we just like stopped recording altogether or even talking about the videos that we put out. And so I wanted to catch us up and let you guys know so that way you're not just like hanging out and being like, well, what the heck, what was this video about that you never followed up with. So this video today will be all about our sick child, our child is sick video that we did, and that was almost 2 years ago. So this is quite the catch-up video. Okay, so this video will be all about that video we did about having a sick child. So if you haven't watched that video, it is talking about how our daughter Joan she was sick all the time and we couldn't figure out what was going on, and we would take her to the doctor and we were getting no answers. And so finally I pushed to have a blood draw done, and because I was like, there has to be something. There's just no reason why a child is sick, because she was sick for almost a whole month. Like at times she would be healthy for 1 week and then she'd just get right back into being sick. And I mean like fevers, just tired, and she was sleeping more. Her schedule was going off because it was just lots of like weird things that just weren't adding up, and there was no lifestyle change that we like anything that we were doing that we would see that would be causing this. And so she was in and out of the doctor lots, and I pushed for a blood draw, and that blood draw came back, and they actually called us after hours. It was probably like at 6 or 7, might have even been a little bit later, but it was later. We got that call and it was saying that she was severely neutropenic. Now neutropenia is when it's part of your white blood cells, and it's the type that I call them like robots. They go and they attack the infection that's there. And if you're neutropenic, if you get any sort of bacterial infection, your body cannot fight it off. There's nothing there to fight it. And so we got the call and they said if she got any sort of fever, we would need to take her into the ER or up to our local hospital, children's hospital, which is Primary Children's. And they would need to like run tests. She'd have to get antibiotics. And we need to see what's going on, because at this point we don't know what's causing neutropenia because everything else looked great. And so sure enough, within a day or two, she got a fever and we had to take her up to Primary Children's, and we couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. It was no bacterial infection, but they gave her tons of antibiotics to help fight it. So that was almost 2 years ago. We're coming up. It was in December of 2019. And we have been in and out of doctor visits for the past 2 years. Well, last year was a little bit harder with it being COVID and everything. All the doctor visits were online, and she saw a lot of specialists online. She's been to like 3 or 4 specialists trying to figure out what is causing this neutropenia and all of her symptoms. And so far we've turned up empty-handed. We have no idea what's causing her neutropenia. And we do know that when she is sick, her neutrophil level will go normal. But when she is not sick and she is supposed to be healthy, she doesn't have fever, she doesn't have any other symptoms, her neutrophil count is low. And no one knows why. So she's had lots of blood tests done. At one point, she was going in monthly, sometimes even bi-weekly. Not bi-weekly, bi-monthly. She was going in bi-monthly to get blood draws to try to figure out what was going on and what was causing this. And like I said, we have no idea. No doctor has been able to answer us. The main doctor she sees is a hematologist, and for the most part, that's going good. Again, they don't know what's going on. We've done specialized tests. We've done to see if she has genetic conditions, and everything just keeps coming up clear. She did have a marker for a genetic condition, but it wasn't one that would cause neutropenia. So it's been fun 2-year adventure of just in and out of doctors. At one point this year, I just stopped taking her in all the time and taking her to get blood draws all the time because it was traumatic for her. And she got to a point where she didn't even want to go to the doctor. She was scared, and that was never like her. She loved the doctor. And she knew when we'd go to the doctor, that usually meant a blood draw. And she's like the most brave child I have like ever seen. She'll start to cry, but she just sits there and does not move and lets them do what they need to do. And that's just incredible. especially for her, just being so little, with this starting out when she was 2, going to now when she's 4. So we're still in the dark as to what's causing this. So I've probably taken her in about 3 times in the last 6 months just to get blood draws. Because like I said, I wanted to hold off on it because it was such a traumatic experience for her. Like she would do good and she would do it, but she just was afraid every time we got in the car that that's what we were going to be doing. So I had to stop. But I taken her in those past 3 times, and each time she's been sick or not feeling that well, or had like a fever, and I just kind of want to see how she's doing. And each time she's been either, well, she's still been neutropenic, but it's not been on the severely low end, or she's been normal. And so again, no questions, and her hematologist will tell us, okay, just take her into her doctor, make sure it's not like an ear infection or sinus infection or just something like that. So I guess all this is to say, that video, we still have no answers. Like I said, we've been to specialist after specialist, and no one knows what's going on with her. No one else is sick like she gets. I mean, my preemie, but that doesn't really count because he's a preemie. So you expect preemies to be sick a lot. Anyways, so this follow-up video maybe won't be that interesting, but we're still working on it. She still does get sick quite a bit. She gets sick just as much as the preemie does, and my other 2 just will like avoid sickness. It's kind of amazing. So between her and Alvin, we're in and out of the doctors a lot, but we're still hoping, and I'm still pushing for answers to try to figure out what is causing her to be sick all the time. And like I said, it's not anything that's ever contagious. We never get what she has. It's her own type of sickness that she has. But her and Alvin can just pass things back and forth between each other because they're just both weakened immune systems. It's quite great. But none of us will ever catch what they have. So I don't know if this video even makes sense, but we're working on it still, trying to figure it out. I'm not pushing too hard because, like I said, I'm worried for her with just being, I don't want her to be afraid to go to the doctor anymore. And it was at that point, like even her pediatrician, she would freak out, and she loves her pediatrician. She always has. Like, he's a really great doctor, and she was always like super, super comfortable being around him. And it got to the point where she would just flat out refuse to even go in there, and she was just in sobbing fits. And so I don't want to get back to that point. And so I'm trying to find a way to get her help, but not traumatize her at the same time. I have noticed that I do need to go get her eyes tested because there are things that she just says I can't see, and there are things everyone else can see. And so we're gonna get that taken care of. And I don't know if it plays into what's going on or not. We know it's not anything scary like cancer. We've had her tested. The hematologist has confirmed that multiple times. At least her blood work is showing nothing to be cancerous. Something that did happen in 2020 that was a little bit more eventful was Joan woke up one day and her face was like swollen, like it was bad. And we didn't know what was going on. I think we even took her into the ER. They couldn't figure out what was going on. And about a week before, we had taken her to the dentist, and we had planned to get some cavities that she had fixed. Again, though, this was, in 2020, so a lot of things were shut down or delayed or pushed back. And so it was probably like a couple weeks to a month out that she was gonna have those cavities fixed. And it's a little bit bigger when they were younger, because they usually try to put them to sleep versus just like the laughing gas, because they won't sit still. Anyways, especially so because of that. But while we were in the hospital with her, or shortly after we got out of the hospital, we were trying to figure out, my husband had the inspiration and the reminder that the dentist had said that everything will be okay as long as they don't become infected. And because he had that, we called our dentist and we got her seen, and 3 of her teeth were infected, and it was, well, I think 2 were infected and 1 was on its way, and that's what was causing her face to swell. And that's a little bit more serious for her because she was neutropenic. It was more of like an emergency dentist surgery that we had to get it removed, and I think in like 2 days we were able to get it, like 2 days since that. So we had the dentist appointment, and then 2 days later we were able to get in and get it removed. So that was a little scary, and thankfully she recovered. She's just missing 3 teeth, but I mean, she looks pretty adorable. Yeah, that was like a crazy event, but she hasn't had any other crazy events other than that. So we were going to see a neurologist at one point because she was having trouble like keeping her balance. And so she was like falling off of chairs, which she had never done before. And she was just having trouble, like she was like walking, and then she'd like fall into the wall, or she'd like trip really easily. And that was concerning because we had no idea what the heck was going on with that. That's gone better. She still is a little bit more klutzy than my other kids, but we had decided to hold off on seeing the neurologist. That and like appointments were like months and months out, again, thanks to the era of 2020. And so, yeah, she just turned 4, and she is a ball of energy. And she's like any 4-year-olds, and she's very, very stubborn. So that's all good things. I hope this was a little bit helpful. I know it's not like your typical Vlogmas video, but with us having been so sporadic with our videos over the past 2 years, I just wanted to inform everyone, because I do know that we have family that watch and we have friends that watch, and not everyone was updated as much on these videos. And I do know if we get new subscribers that they're gonna probably go back and watch that video and be like, well, wait, what happened to her? So at this point, we still don't know what's going on, but we are actively looking and trying for answers in in a way that will not traumatize her and be the best for her. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, comment down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe, because we are doing Vlogmas. And hopefully, as I get better with making these every day, you won't just be seeing me, you'll be able to see the whole family. So hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.